A break from the Grand Slam because I have, to quote Toy Story, new toys! Yes, the new Hexbug, Witch Doctor and Bronco Rivals pack. I am super excited to be unboxing this for you today. Well, I'm going to review it actually, I'm not going to unbox it because other people have done that, and I'd rather do that with the comfort of knowing that I can muck it up. The front packaging hasn't changed that much, only to rebrand with Witch Doctor and Bronco at the bottom, and the back features write-ups, in fact, of the new Witch Doctor and Bronco, as well as a look at the arena playset and how the remote works and how you use it and all that. The usual jargon. Bit interested to see why they've gone for red Bronco on the blue background. Maybe it was just a case of the colours blended together too much, so still, it's nice to look at, and that's about it for the box. Let's open these things up. And here they are out of the box, the new Hexbug, Witch Doctor and Bronco. And everyone's been asking for Bronco for absolutely ages. A working flipper. They got that mechanism sorted with the Hexbug Robot Wars line, but we'll talk about that more in a minute, because I want to talk about the new Witch Doctor. She looks beautiful. She really does. The tree mech opens up. It's a shame it's not electronic, but I can understand why it's not electronic. This is one of the removable panels, though. It's the rib cage comes off, and more on that in a little bit. But I do love the sort of crackling effect on this rib cage. You can just see it's almost mottled or something like that. The other removable parts are the front plough sort of thing, which comes off. It has two clips to hold it in place. This thing is quite difficult to remove, so that'll be interesting to see which robots can actually do it. I imagine Tombstone from the side, and this back panel, which is probably the easiest bit to get off because it is only held on by sort of three back bits. But yeah, that is the basic version of Witch Doctor. Bronco is another story. It's very, very long. Very, very long. The flipper uses this mechanism that looks like the Matilda and the Hexbug Robot Wars ones on steroids. Yeah, it's an absolute beast, and I will show you the flipper working in a minute. But the two side pods either side of the flipper come off. These are probably the weakest bit, which is shocking because they have proper clips. The back bit is actually more difficult, but it has those sort of three sticky outy bits that you just slot that into. Yeah, I will show you in a minute what each of these things do, but first of all, how do you get them to work? So they have these little tabs in that you need to pull out, as do the remotes. So once you've done the actual robot ones, you need to do the remote one as well, the thing that separates the batteries and makes sure that it doesn't work in the box. We then press the on button, and to pair, we just get our remote and press any button, and it should now be working. Bronco's flipper is a beast. It really is. It's probably the most powerful flipper out of any Hexbug line. And the Witch Doctor spinner actually hurts if you stick your finger into it. Yes, I tried that. Don't do it. It hurts. A little bit. A little bit more than the others anyway. It is a really deadly spinner, and really does take off armour quite viciously. There goes one bit. That's the flipper. And there goes the last one. So, as you can see, the Witch Doctor spinner has been upgraded a bit. It drives amazingly. It's probably the fastest Hexbug robot to have been released, either in the Battlebots line or the Robot Wars line. It is super speedy. Even with the weapon on, often with the Hexbugs, when the battery is diminishing a little bit, the weapon draws more battery power from the drive and slows it down. It doesn't at the minute on mine. I imagine it will do eventually, but it drives so smoothly and so well. The old Hexbug Witch Doctor used to be one of my favourites to drive. This might beat that. The only issue with it I have is that the rib cage interferes with the front wheels, which are the drive wheels, which is a real pain in the butt. So, or the bots, if you will. It's easily rectified if you just add something on the inside just to lift it up a little bit, but still a bit annoying that you have to do something to fix that. So there. Bronco has the same issue as the actual Bronco does, in that it turns ever so slowly. I've found that drifting it in corners is actually the fastest way to get it to turn. Don't try and get it to just sit and spin in the spot, it won't work. The flipper, as I said already, is an absolute beast. Doesn't really have much effect on the drive at all, other than drawing more battery power, so be aware of that. But yeah, it's got the same issues as the real Bronco does. So, screen accuracy, it's great, but does itself right? Well, with the back bit on, no. But if you were to remove that back section, which is easy enough, will it now self-right? Yes, it will. Wonderful. You got to have a flipper that self-rights. You just do. It will also flip Matilda, not from the front because she has a big rear, but on the side very easily. More easy than the Hexbug Robot Wars flipper does. It's just huge. It's so long in scale with the old push strike Bronco. In fact, it dwarfs it. And there it is flipping it away, because why not? Witch Doctor obviously is incomparable because it's been through so many different versions since the original. In fact, this is the third version. It looks so different because the team have changed the design, but both of these designs look exactly like their on-screen counterparts, which is fantastic. I would say that the spinner on the old one has more reach with all the armour on. The new spinner isn't as long and doesn't reach as far unless you take that front bit off, in which case it's a beast. And it does very well. Very, very well. And it'll take off armour panels. For example, the old Witch Doctor top panel. Very easily. There it goes. Done. Well done, Witch Doctor. I thought as a little bonus I might try and put the Bronco Flipper up against the Modbot Flipper. It flips the Modbot very easily. But does the Modbot flip Bronco? No, because it's just so long. It's just so long. It just pushes it away a bit more. I agree, Modbot. I agree. But it just wouldn't be my channel if we didn't let Matilda have some fun with these two, so here's some glorified damage and destruction. You know, payback for what Bronco did to her earlier. Ooh, that's very nice. As for Witch Doctor, bit of a pushover if you ask me. That back panel just comes off, and it's easily flipped, and obviously the Stream Mech doesn't work electronically, so it's done for. What I do enjoy doing is removing the ribcage section with Matilda's flywheel, because it's just so fun. I found the best angle you can get on it is the back, but only after removing that rear armour panel. It's not that difficult, so you should be able to remove that panel very, very easily from the very top. In fact, so easily, it looks so good in slow motion. Wow. So overall, what do I think of these two? This is one of the best Hexbug Rivals packs to date. Bronco is an immense flipper. Witch Doctor is so nice. It would have been lovely to see Hypershock. I hear rumour that Hypershock is coming still and that we've not lost out on that one because I just love the rake. I just love it. I need the rake. I need it in my life. And maybe perhaps if we don't get it, we can customise our Hexbug Witch Doctors to look like Hypershock or something. I'm sure that wouldn't be too difficult. So perhaps that's something you might see in the future. Otherwise, that's about it for this time. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a like and do subscribe. Thanks for watching. Now get out.